All right. Okay, sure. So here are some. Okay, I try to summarize everything that we need to do on the research on this video. Now, once of all, you have to be very clear of why do we need the research. Okay. So like I mentioned, um, all the schools in Singapore they will test the they will test questions that are very similar. Okay. Um, so with your research, we will know what to do exactly to teach the students. Okay, so if you are going to miss one or two things, definitely we will not be able to completely cover and teach our students. Okay, so now yes, so first of all, please open up the research template. Okay, I have the research template can be found on OneNote. Okay, so these are all the things that we need to write down. So for concepts, okay, please refer to the 2007 maths syllabus. Okay, it can be found in box. I suppose it's maths. Yeah, over here, 2007 maths syllabus. Okay. And to write down what exactly do the ministry told the school to teach. But of course, the things that the ministers have told the school to teach is insufficient because the questions have become more complicated and have evolved since then. Okay, so the only way to for us to really know what to teach is go through as many schools test papers as we could, and all the schools test paper can be found in the in a boxing resource school test paper, and depending on what level. Okay, so now for example we are trying to look for research on the primary 3 on the topic uh, length, mass, and volume. Okay, so okay, so right now it should be about the students will learn this topic in around June or July. So which means um, you need not have to look through folders that says SA1 like over here SA1. That is because SA1 is tested in May. So since they will only be learning about length, mass, and volume in June or July, so the test paper that is found in May will definitely not contain the topic. So we will look for tests that is in around November or August. In August, students will take something called CA1 or CA2. Sorry, in August, students will take CA2. Okay, and in November, they will take SA2. Okay, now let's try looking into some of the SA2 questions. Okay, I'm not so sure. Okay. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the SA2 questions. For example, okay, I have one open up here. Okay, now just scroll through since okay, let's just focus on the topic of length. Okay, now just go through which are the questions that involve length. For example, this one, question 20. Arjun ran 575 meters up a hill and then ran the same distance down the hill. He then ran 800 meters before reaching the campsite. How far did he run? Okay, now for this question, okay, now you okay, let me tell you right now first. Okay, now so over here we are divided into a few types of questions. Okay, um, okay, creative questions combined with other test paper topic skills. Okay, now from over here, okay, so what are the topic skills needed to answer this question? Okay, so just read up this question and think of your own. Now, if you are the students, what exactly do you need to know in order to solve this question? Okay, um, so okay, so for this question, I need to know that we can add length. Okay, so Okay, so after you write the idea, okay, you can try to please try to describe it because it might not be clear. So we can actually add length together. So um okay, we can actually add length together. So okay, so here it can be difficult to explain, but as much as possible, just try to explain. You can refer to the some of the very well done template previously. Okay, so afterwards write down the question. Okay, we can just copy and paste the question. Okay, next let's continue to move. Any more questions on length? Okay, and so sorry, yeah, so over here we need to know that we can add length. Okay, and let's say in another question you saw that we can subtract. We need not have to write down again, so we can actually include it here. We can add length, add, subtract. Okay, multiply and divide length. Okay, so also from this question okay, can um okay, so over here okay, this is on parameter. Okay, parameter will be on another topic, so it will not be on this topic. Let me see. Okay, so continue to scroll through and look for any other questions that involve length. Okay, so over here, Tom paints 9 meters of a fence a day. The length. Okay, so for this question, Tom paints 9 meters of a fence a day. The length of the fence is 250 meters. So yes, okay, so this question actually involve combining with other topics with time. Okay, so they need to know what is 3 weeks. So we just need to put here under this column that is combined with other topics. Okay, and of course, just try to explain clearly. Okay, now let me just look through some of the questions before. Okay, okay, there isn't anymore. So now let's go to the next paper. Maybe we can try this. Oops. Oops, sorry, this is the same worksheet again. Okay, now let's try this. Okay, now great. Over here. Okay, so number two, the library is 2,950 meters away from Calvin's home. What is distance in km and m? So from this question, we realize that what are the skills that is needed. Okay, so yes, in order to solve this question, okay, now we must know how to convert between m, km. Okay, and eventually you will realize that we need to know how to convert between mkm and cm as well. Okay, so okay, once again, for this question there is not much description, but for some of them, yeah, we will need detailed description. Okay, so after that we can just copy it. Okay, so this is the skills that we need to know. We need to know how to convert. Okay, yes, let's take a look at number 8. Okay, so yes, once again we need to know how to convert. Okay, now let's continue to look. Okay, now this question, although it looks similar to length, but it's actually more on the parameter. Okay, now let's take a look at 30. Okay, Joe is 168 cm tall. His sister is 12 cm shorter than he. What is the height of Joe and his sister? Okay, now for this question, now imagine if you are a student, what exactly you need to know? Okay, so one thing is that once again we need to know that we can actually add or subtract distance and height. Okay, so now most of the time it is actually talking about distance. Okay, so yes, you realize that we need to know, okay, how that cm or m can be used for distance and height. Okay, so for this concept, okay, um okay, length can be used as distance and height. Okay, so apart from things that the school syllabus from Ministry of Education wrote, okay, so yeah, you can have a look at what exactly is needed and help us right over here. So in order to have a good one, you have to think as a student, what are the every single thing that you need to know. Okay, to have a good research, you need to write down every single thing that the students need to know. Imagine you are only a 9-year-old student in this case. What are every single thing that you need to know? And just write it in our research. Okay, so now this is actually a basic word problem. Okay, it's very similar to this. Okay, so for each of them, we can have about 2 or 3 sample. Okay, so that you know, it's easier for those who are reading your reports to understand. Okay, so let's continue downwards. Okay, now how about this? 10 trees are planted at regular intervals from the beginning of the road to the end. Okay, the distance between the two streets is 3 meters. Okay, how long is the road? Okay, so once again, yeah, this is a very good question for you know, we can actually subtract, multiply, and divide length. Okay, so yeah, over here. So let's say if you see this question very rarely, okay, then we can actually include this as one of the creative questions. Okay, so creative questions are questions that seldom comes up. So yeah, this can be one of the creative questions. So yeah, in order to solve this question, what is the skills that the students need to know? Okay, well, one thing is that we can actually use length. Um, um, okay, we can actually use length. Um, okay, so the concept is we can actually use length. Okay, to measure. Okay, so what are the concepts that students need to know? Yes, can use length to measure and use in everyday life. Okay, something like that. Okay, so of course, let's go on to the next question. Okay, my time is running out. So okay, now, so very simple. Okay, just try to write down every single thing. So now when we teach, okay, I think let me create another video will be better.